evening and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul podcast. And I am grateful that this month we have Women International Month. And look, my ladies are taking it by storm this month. So I am just ecstatic that this is just a month to celebrate us. But in passion tonight, I want to know where all of my 40 and over people are ladies, especially you ladies, because my guest here tonight, Regina Polk, who is a certified functional nutritionist, because we all know that in our moving on up ages, that we need to get our nutrition. And she's also a holistic health coach. So, Regina, I want to say welcome to Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. Good to be here. All the smiles and all the vibing, loving it.
Yes. So, Regina, before we get into that I love the fact that you have this thing called the well spot. Can you tell the audience how did you come up with the well spot?
Well, when I was looking for business names, of course, you're wondering what would be a catchy name that would go get people's interest. So I thought about the wellness stop or spot or maybe different coaching or just different titles. But the when I thought about the well stop, at first I wanted the well spot, because I thought about the wellness spot, wellness stop. According to GoDaddy, they were already taken. So I said, well, let me try something a little bit different. So I shortened it to the well stop, and I saw that wasn't taken, and so that's how I came about that name. But I looked, and I wanted a name to represent when you stop at this place, you're on your journey to getting well.
Yes, yes. That's a perfect go because we want us to be well. And we have a lot of myths in the realm of holistic health. We have so many people think, because it's something that they're not used to, that is different. You're using herbs, you're doing other stuff, but I just tell people that is what God intended us to be because one, our body can heal itself. That's one of the things if it's doable right things that we need to do with our body to keep ourselves well. But as you said, you know, uh there's a lot of autoimmune stuff, and I know you specialize in that. Gut health is extremely important. As I'm getting older, my guts is terrible, right? I'm trying to do some eat better, which you can, but then with all the chemicals and stuff that you eat nowadays, that's why you try to get stuff that's fresh. And it's hard, and especially we don't metabolize right as we get in, women's health when we get a certain age. And then also when we talked about holistic, people don't think about it's a three-part thing. It is the mind, the body, and the soul. So, Regina, the first question I'm going to ask to you, you do your coaching. So, when you approach holistic health for a person who's 40, saying I'm coming to your office, how do you first integrate with them the mind, the body, and the spirit for their holistic health?
That's a good question. What upon talking to the person, want to find out a little bit about what their background is and their habits and what's going on, what they say in that terrain, whether it's going on with the mind, because of course, other than consuming things, there are other
Mhm.
things that we do that contributes to our health. It could be your mindset. You don't want to have a negative mindset, because those negative thoughts that can lead to stress, and stress can affect your health. With the body, you want to make sure that you're feeding it very good, like you had mentioned before, good nutrients, and and putting good thoughts in. And with the soul, you want to make sure that you're meditating on really good positive vibes and really good thoughts, so that way your soul can be fed too. I know if you're spiritual, if you want to go into meditation or prayer time, that could help, and it just brings a calming, and it's just overall better for the body. So that's the kind of a short, concise view of how I would do mind, body, and soul. Just talk to the person and try to find out where they're coming from, and then we work together in trying to come up with something that can help the mind, the body, and the soul.
Yeah, and that's so, because I tell people all the time, you can't have one without the other. If
Exactly.
one of those things are out of a line, it'll surely trickle down to the other parts. And that's
So
why
true.
it's so important that, you know, that we enlist that. It's a whole trio. It's just
Right.
like they say, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, whatever. But it's the same thing, it's the trio. So, again, we're focusing more on for women who are 40 and over. Now, can you give some examples? I know it could be many, but just a few of what are some of the common concerns that women who have, over 40?
Some of the common concerns they may have is they're they're tired. They may not have a lot of energy. They may not be able to sleep well. Their thinking is not clear. They may have digestive issues where they're having trouble. If you're eating a meal, and you're feeling kind of bloated, and you're have a lot of gas, things like that, and it may lead to joint discomfort. Um, and so when you, of course, and, as we get older, when you have those things combined with other stuff, you figure, okay, my body's not working the way I wanted to, and it's going down a road that I'm not trying to follow. But it happens like that. So they can come to me with those type of concerns, and we can definitely try to look at it and see what we can come up with as a plan.
Yeah, you done described every bit of me. You have described every bit of me. And the tiredness, the joint pain, and I do the red light stuff. I do that at least a couple times out the week myself. But it's just it is it's because, first of all, I'm a person who works a lot. um Sometimes you have time to pack the right stuff, sometimes you don't. So it's the mindset, and I'm getting more mindful of that. um and again, you talking about your nutritional change. Now, I will say this: you just brought up something. I was not a person who got heartburn or any type of belching and stuff. But here it is, as I was waiting for that 50. But man, I want to take it back. I want to take it back because I'm telling you, I've had more digestive issues so far. And again, autoimmune autoimmune, it's the hormones, like when you're talking about you can't sleep. So can you give a little bit of rapture or tips around that portion?
When it comes to autoimmune, I have an autoimmune condition in which I was diagnosed with that started my health journey back in 2018. And after doing some testing with a functional medicine doctor, come to find out, in my case, one of the main contributors was an unbalanced gut, and I didn't realize that. You have like an aha moment, and so that contributed to a lot of things that I was. It was just, again, life is a learning process. So I had ventured on to educating myself about what to eat, um, what to even what to put on my skin, because things that you put on your skin can affect you too.
Mhm.
Of course, the mindset. Try different stressors. Try to keep that. Um, Also, different habits. Try to relax a little bit more. But when the gut is not balanced, of course, you can have what I had was you can have pain, inflammation. Of course, that's the main thing. That's the main thing that's going to show up is the inflammation, and with inflammation is pain where you're not able to sleep well. And of course, when you're not able to sleep well, you're not thinking. It can affect your thinking to where you're not thinking clearly, and of course, your energy levels are low, and so that it can affect it that way. But working together to try to improve the health and work on those terrain to get that on a better journey, that is what can really, really help you.
It's funny that you said that because a couple years ago I went to a rheumatologist, and that one of those my inflammation markers was up, and now that I have a lot of gut issues. So some of the things that let me put this disclaimer: we are not giving you cures. We are just telling you what we use. I know, like for me, I use black eye. I eat a lot of black eyed peas now. Black eyed peas, and I have a lot of sauerkraut and stuff. Those different things to help with my gut.
Yeah, sauerkraut, great fermented food, great fermented food. And just like you, I see a rheumatologist too.
Hmm.
And those inflammation markers, keep an eye on them every time you go in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be one way that we, with your metabolism and your hormones and stuff. Again, and you said one of the things, special diets. Any specifics? Can you give any specific special diets for that we should, if we women over 40 who are experiencing that, especially the patterns for energy and longevity.
Um, well, special diets, you can look for, um, if you're having inflammation, you can look for more anti-inflammatory foods to look in those. And a lot of things, gluten is the main contributor. Dairy is another. And so sometimes just, cutting back or maybe eliminating on those can really help you significantly in how you feel. And that's
Right,
just the first step.
right, right. So listen, audience, we are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to hear more from my special guest, Regina Polk. So just stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Bolden Hammond, and I am here with the certified functional nutritionist and holistic health coach, Regina Polk, is here with us tonight. And again, ladies, share this, especially if you're that 40 and over. Hey, we fine as wine, but we also sometimes we can break on down, but to make sure that we get back on track is some things that we can do because we gotta show some of these young folks, we gotta keep it up here because they think because oh you old, but we're not that old. We're just growing in time. That's it, growing in the right time. So before we took the break, we're talking about gut health and you know like you said, for you autoimmune, get your inflammation tracker. You see how much your inflammation is because a lot of people don't realize, like you said, inflammation makes them joints up, and it's just a mess. It can rack havoc on you. Your sleep patterns, and which can lead to heart if you don't get the right proper rest with sleep. But for gut health, so Coach Regina, are there any specific types of protocols that you could recommend, especially for cleansing practices for the gut?
I There should be some things. Is my video?
You good? You still on?
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Um, as far as protocols, I again bring up the anti-inflammatory foods and looking at foods that would definitely look to help heal. You had mentioned sauerkraut earlier. Those fermented foods are really good in helping the gut as far as the healing. Definitely cutting down on acidic foods, spicy foods. Even though I love my nachos, but but yeah, look for alternatives, and also definitely if you can increase your fiber, that can definitely help with the gut as far as keeping that movement flowing, and stay hydrated. You want to make sure that you're staying hydrated so that way you won't get constipated or get dry, have dryness or anything like that. So um but those are some basics that would help. And I'm trying to think of anything else as far as
Mm-hmm.
now, as far as detoxes, you do have some detoxes that work, but you want to make sure that you have your, I'd say, your plumbing system working first. Because if, for example, if you have constipation, you really want to get the constipation problem over before you start to detox, because you don't want to start detox and then you already plugged up, and that can lead to a worse situation. So you want to make sure that you have that system going. And that that's what I can think of for right now.
Okay. All right. So, like you said, the gut health impact your well-being. So, how you we just went through this earlier, but it is very important about the gut health because in that gut, it goes with everything else. So
It
for the
does.
well-being, yeah. And then for those who are watching tonight, you're saying, oh, some of this stuff that she's talking about, it could be possibly because I'm eating what I'm eating, overall well-being. What can I do? So one of the things is, how can you improve it? So can you give some suggestions? Like if I'm somebody, especially I used to be a person, I had to have that cereal every day with that milk. I had to have my cereal every day. Just had to have it every day with my milk. And I do know that milk has a lot of inflammation. So, an alternative that I've done here recently because of gut, I've done cashew milk.
That is a good alternative. Um, plant-based milk that you can tolerate. I know some people, soy milk is good, almond milk is good. Some people may not be able to tolerate those particular types of milk. You find a milk that you can tolerate. And as far as cereal, I like I usually have gluten-free oatmeal. But if
Mm,
you find a cereal that you like that works with you, that and if you look at gluten-free that doesn't have any refined sugar in it, that can also help too. Also, like, which I don't eat a lot more of now because it can be inflammatory, is grits. Growing up with my grandmother used to have grits for breakfast. And when we go visit her, we'd
mm.
have grits too. So if you can find a gluten-free corn grits that can agree with you, that's another thing. But another thing that I have found was like I think they have like cream of rice, and I use that as a grit substitute.
Mm.
So that's one thing, but I don't eat it a lot because I know it's processed. So I try to I try to go more whole foods, to try to go that route. But there are things that are out there that you can, if you love your cereal and milk, which I know a lot of people do, there are options that we can look at to find out if that can work for you and see if you will be satisfied with that option.
Right. Well, you know. So now we're going to talk about. Oh, they're trying to take us back on the beat again, huh? Trying to take us back on the beat. Speaking of that, that was just shown as a retreat, which we are 17 days away. 17 days away for my 15-year celebration of Warm Your Heart, Warm Your Mind, and Warm Your Soul retreat. So we
Congratulations.
yes, most definitely. And I'm looking forward to having you maybe present one of my years coming up in. So that goes to the next question again, to your personalized approach on how you in your business. We want you to go support her because I'm going to put it up here again. You know, some of y'all got them gut issues, and she is talented enough to get you right. I tell everybody every week, I don't bring people on here that I know to say it like this, that I bring people on here that I know that could transform. And that's what it's about here at Mind Body, Upfront Mind Body and Soul. I'm here to bring on the goodness, especially inspiration. And it's be such an inspiration for you guys to support, especially she's a female. You know, you get ladies, got some gut stuff going on. But how do you personalize your services? Just exactly. I know you said earlier, you know, you get into the mindset, you got to figure it into the mindset, but how do you personalize it to recommendations for each of your client? What would be the first step?
And to what you were saying, everybody has different situations. It's not a cookie cutter for everybody. So, of course, um, to begin with, we would do an assessment of your health history, find out what's going on, find out how you're functioning on a daily basis in daily life. And after that, I would do a what I call a matrix to figure out where in your body terrain that we may have some things going on where it's not balanced, and put together a plan, an action plan, which of course is always a living action plan because those steps change the further we go along the journey, and present that to you in bite-sized steps, not in a whole big complex plan. Because I was presented a whole big complex plan and was overwhelmed, and I want to present to those and work with those where we can look at, okay, let's achieve this goal and come meet in I guess maybe in a week or so, and then see how things are going. And of course, look at adjustments as we go along the journey. And if it comes to, well, we need to make adjustments, let's talk about it. We can talk about supplementation, trying different herbs, trying different things like that. But during that time, I always want to support you. And if you have questions, you can definitely reach out to me, and we can see what questions we can answer and learn from there and go from there.
Great, 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 great. So, Regina, is there, and again, everyone, here is her information, the Well Stop. Or you have any upcoming events? Because I know you do seminars and webinars. Do you have any upcoming events that's coming up anytime that the folks, the audience who are looking can, join on in?
I I do. I don't know when this is going to air, if it's Tuesday night, but I do have a gut health webinar coming up on Tuesday afternoon. It is at 1 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Sorry, Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. Central. It's going to be, and it's free if you'd like to come on and just take a listen and see what your gut health should be like, and as far as general, and then where you could go from there. But I do have that coming up Tuesday afternoon.
All right. Now, will this be recorded where they can catch a recording of this? This is streamlined through
It will
Facebook.
be recorded. It will be live, but it will be recorded where they can
Okay.
catch up on it. Yes.
All right, then, audience. So you have heard it here, and we are so grateful for you for saying yes to come on this show, on the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul show. Regina, is there any last words that you would say to anyone? I always give time and space for my guests to give an encouraging word to the audience so to go them, take them into the week, especially if something here clicked for you tonight, audience, about the importance of well-being to your gut health. And just remember, if you're a lady 40 or over, you're not alone in this struggle, because Regina could be here to help you.
Yes, I would encourage you, if you're having problems, don't don't wait on your health. Don't skimp on your health. It may be it may be keeping you from participating in social activities. You and if that's the case, you definitely want to take action and look into improving your health and get yourself on a health journey where you can learn how to get your body to start healing, and you can live a better quality of life and live that life to the fullest. Excuse me, where you can enjoy yourself and enjoy your family and friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, Regina, we say thank you. Thank you again for coming on Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul. And audience, for next week, I just want you to live in your purpose, be purposeful, work with it, and look, you survive 100% of your bad days. Until next week, I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Bolden Hammond. Take care.